What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Gaia. Well, playing as everyone's favorite Gaia player as well. His name is Kvoth. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Joe. The map is Oasis, I believe, and just a random Voobly ladder game that we've found here on this auspicious of occasions. Gonna be very, very fun here. Watching Joe's Ra here, one of the best Ra players out there, one of the best Egyptian players out there, versus Kvoth being one of the only Gaia players out there. Even though he's been definitely experimenting with some other gods of late, definitely having a whole lot of success with Hades and all the other really strong gods that are out there. So we'll see how he's going to go in this game. I definitely struggle against Kvoth's Gaia, so I'm excited to see how Joe is going to play Ra against Kvoth here. It is on the map Oasis. Oasis is a bit of a funny one here for Ra against Gaia specifically. Why? Atlantean normally prospers on these low hunt maps, but so too does Ra prosper on these low hunt maps because he gets the really, really nice fast farm build, right? But the Gaia player, unlike Uranus, unlike Kronos, doesn't really enjoy those really heavy, low food army openings. Gaia much prefers to get that boom going, and on the low hunt maps like Oasis, Gaia gets access to this economic guild and has access to all of the upgrades in the archaic age, which basically means that in the classical age, if Gaia needs to farm, then she can get herself flood control really, really early, which means her food income is going to skyrocket, which is huge. Not only that, she also gets access to the faster Gaia forest trees, which means she can have an easier time farming. So she definitely enjoys these lower hunt maps, similarly to how Joe is going to enjoy this with his own Ra here. Now we'll see how it's all going to go as the villagers moving down to the bottom of the map, going to be eating up these giraffe down the bottom here. One thing that we have been seeing a lot of Ra players doing of late is advancing significantly later than I would say is appropriate, or safe, I should say, on more normal maps, but on the lower hunt maps in these kind of less aggressive matchups, advancing that little bit later can be a much better way to play it. It's because you're going to get yourself a little bit more economy, a little bit more early game resources. Yes, the town center getting up a little bit later means less villagers, means less income, but the fact of the matter is you get the farms down straight away and you don't have to worry about it after that, and you can be set up ready to focus on all of your economy and everything else that goes into that. Now, we'll see what Kvoth's doing. It looks like Kvoth is already going for a relatively fast second town center here. Well, I say relatively. This is kind of as fast as it gets as he sends the citizen over. The gold comes in, and he will be jumping to that next stage. Does need to get himself a little bit more wood here for this next citizen, and these villagers on this gold mine could definitely do with pulling off that gold as soon as they get to 100 and coming over onto food. In fact, you're going to see him having a little bit of a struggle there with that citizen coming out because of that. Nonetheless, he gets the citizen going. Second town center on the way. Joe has got no idea that this is coming in. There is a world where you can do some sort of a score read, and if you know the exact number that the score drop would be for a town center versus an age up, then you can kind of work out which one's which. But so long as you put that town center down right on or right around 330, your opponent's not going to know if that's a town center or an age up at all, right? Because the score drops at the same time roughly, and you're just not going to be able to tell. Now, it is a different amount of resources, so it is a different amount of score drop, but I don't know what it is, and I'm sure most Age Mythology players don't care enough. What is the town center? It's like let me see. How much does it cost? It's not 100, 300, 300. It's 102. It's like nearly 700. So it's a significant score drop more than going to the classical age. But Joe, he's going through Bast here. He's going for a second monument, and he's going through Bast on Oasis. We've been seeing this actually quite a bit out of Joe of late. He's really been enjoying the Sphinx shenanigans, the Eclipse timing attacks, and utilizing this kind of idea with Ra with a really great success, in all honesty. Now, Gaia is a different beast. There was once upon a time, Gaia was a really, really bad god against Sphinx, against Myth units, but as the patch updates came through, that weakness was kind of cleared up to some degree, as Kvoth has his second town center up now, and he's going up through Leto. And the big thing is that the big thing that got changed, the big helping hand that got changed for Gaia against Myth units is this unit here, Automaton, has become much, much less weak, much stronger, much less weak, much stronger. As we do see that the Oracle spots the town center going up. Great positioning on that Oracle. Joe's not going to know that that this is being spotted. Not that it changes much, but Joe's not going to know. We do see the goats coming around here. No Sphinx coming out just yet, as it kind of looks like Joe is going for a farmless fast heroic here to some degree. Is that an armory coming up as well? It is. Now, we do see the Sphinx coming in, causing a little bit of problems here for Kvoth. But the big thing is for Joe, if he goes for this farmless fast heroic, which I do think is a good idea, what he should be doing is getting that Pharaoh or the priest onto this hunt and getting a priest onto this town center so that all of his food is being empowered so he can feel like he's basically hunting but inside of his base. Having that extra 15%, 25% gather rate on your berries is absolutely gigantic, and also the fact that the villagers don't have to move as much to get to the berries does mean that it can be almost as good as hunting, obviously without the Pharaoh empowerment, but almost as good as hunting. So you could definitely make huntless fast heroics work, though it does look like farms are going to be coming down nonetheless, as Joe, he doesn't even have plow yet, and it's not coming through. Joe doesn't have any wood income just yet, does need to be thinking about getting that 50 wood to get himself plow. But Joe is actually kind of known for missing those kind of upgrades, in all honesty. As we do see a farm is now down for Kvoth. We see husbandry coming out. I'd be surprised to see anything other than... I'd be surprised to not see plow coming in very, very shortly here as soon as he's got the resources. I love this wall. I love this spider lair on this position here. I love this military barracks and on this position as well, ensuring that Joe just can't steal or build town centers easily here. Very, very annoying to play around. Still no plow coming through here for Kvoth. Still no hand axe either in. He's definitely going to be wanting that one. You can see that he hasn't actually built any military units just yet. Just one Oracle hero, one Automaton. He's spamming out those upgrades very, very fast. Meanwhile, over here for Joe, still no plow, but he does have the villagers on the wood. For those of you who don't know, Egyptian farms, they gather so absurdly slow compared to Greek villages or Atlantean villages without plow, because for some reason, Ensemble Studios decided that because Egyptian players can farm in the Archaic Age, they're going to make it so inefficient that well, basically because the villagers can farm in the Archaic Age, it's really inefficient to farm in the Archaic Age is effectively the thing. And the counteraction to that is that once you get plow, you get that bonus back. It goes up to 22% for the Egyptian farms, which is obviously quite strong. But yes, it's a thing. So Joe here, he's going to be getting his plan out, and that's there. You can see the 22% labor gather rate increase there, and everything is going to motor ahead. As we do see the Sphinx coming in on this position, the Terma hero does get converted, and that Sphinx is going to be retreating away. We see the rain coming through for Joe, as Kvoth here. He's got himself Bowsaw. Still no plow, however, but Bowsaw is an interesting economic upgrade to be rushing here. The idea is obviously he's got 8 villagers on wood, and he wants to spam farms, and he's going to be popping those up very, very fast here. He wants to get himself all those upgrades out as well, as more Terma are coming through. Joe, on the other hand here, is ready to advance, and he is going through segment very, very late to the heroic age. But this is something that Joe is kind of okay with. And personally, I'm like, I want to get to the heroic age as fast as I can as Egyptian, because I feel really naked not having any army out. I can get hit by some real big timings here, especially if Kvoth had decided to go for like a fast heroic here off of 2 town centers. He could have had a palace down on this front here with Behemoth, tradering a Sphinx, all of the crazy stuff that could have come through. But Kvoth has decided to go for the economic upgrade route instead, and to some degree Joe is finding an advantage because of this. So you do see these Sphinx coming through. They are Cryo Sphinx at the moment, not quite as strong as those Hierarcho Sphinx, but still get a big boost to their stats as they come in through and going to be sniping one citizen here as that gets out of position. Great find there for Joe. Kvoth here. Still no third town center up just yet. Farms coming through very slowly here. Do we see irrigation? Yes, we do, and I imagine flood control is going to be following very shortly after, as Joe starting to move up with his villagers, wanting to throw a Migdol stronghold down. I wouldn't be surprised to see Joe actually rushing Mythic Age here. It seems to me that one of the big disadvantages of playing Gaia in this fashion is you allow the Egyptian player to just tech for free, and obviously the Son of Osiris is really strong, but more importantly, if you can get to the Mythic Age without investing all too much favor in these myth units, and we have seen Joe obviously already investing in the myth units, but if you can get to the Mythic Age with, say, 35 favor in the back, you can get an extra mummy out, you can get another mummy a little bit later, and it can be really difficult to beat that Eclipse that is going to be coming for you, as Kvoth looks to be basically going mass heroes at this point. In the main base here, do we see that? No, we don't see flood control just yet, but nearly full population for Kvoth. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to go to the heroic age very shortly, as a Scarab is coming over here. Kvoth, perfect reactions there. Gets that Mamilo hero onto this position. The wall's coming up. How good is this? You don't see this from Atlantean players at all, ladies and gentlemen. The villager comes in, gets the walls up, but the Sphinx is already over here. We see a couple more Murmillo getting produced onto this position as another wall wants to come up over here to kind of block the Sphinx from running around, getting pressure and all that there. Still no flood control, and a bit surprised to see Kvoth missing that one. He's so on top of those sorts of upgrades, at least most of the time he is. But it looks like he's favoring that heroic age, as he wants the Rhea, he wants that trader, and he wants to be stealing away those myth units from Joe. Specifically the Scarab, but maybe something else, maybe something a little bit more important, as Joe pushing forward does get eaten quite a bit there on that position. Lots of dead units as Joe pulls back. He's like, all right, can't take that fight just yet. Joe is at 120 of 140 population. Kvoth only at 113 of 130 population. Definitely does not want to be taking a fight just yet. Great Eclipse coming through here for Joe, catching these units out of position, but Kvoth can just retreat through the wall that he's made here. This Scarab here, unfortunately, does not kill that military barracks very fast, at least not until the... At least not until it's completed here, as the citizen going to be retreating back. The units retreat through this wooden wall here, and Kvoth is safe. He can grab this town center if he so chooses, sending a citizen back forward here to rebuild that wall. I love that play. But the Sphinx now making their way through, going to be looking for some villager kills here. Huge amount of resources in the bank here for Joe, as Kvoth is in a very difficult position. After this Eclipse finishes, he will have access to trader to steal something away, as Joe does find some citizen on this position here. Kvoth not paying attention. He's going to be losing one citizen, losing two citizens. Well, not quite losing two, but he does garrison nicely there. This citizen getting caught out of position here as well, as the army retreating back here. Joe almost ready to go to that Mythic Age at this point as Kvoth, he's struggling mightily for a lot of stuff as the town center is getting torn down here, ladies and gentlemen. What do you, trader, on this position? We see Kvoth decides to take the Scarab here. We do see the Hero Mamilo coming over here as the units on this position for Kvoth starting to push forward, trying to get some value out of them here as the town center does get torn down. These citizens need to make a break for it. 6 citizens here retreating away from this town center. This timing here for Joe is absolutely gigantic. As this town center on the front going up though, Kvoth still has map control in this game as the Mamilo pushing through here, trying to take down those cavalry and everything else. The units on this position here for Joe still searching around for something to kill here. He's going to be bringing them back and taking a fight on the front. The question is, can Kvoth's army actually fight this army that Joe has constructed here at this point? He's got how many resources in the bank? He's got a decent amount of resources. Citizen coming over here to get this town center up. We do see the spider eggs coming through as the behemoth and the scarab, the traded scarab, coming through to take down this Migdol stronghold. As Joe going to be retreating back here, or Kvoth's retreating back here over his spider lair, going to try and dissuade those units from coming through for the time being here. He can't really take this fight just yet. I'm surprised to see. Well, actually, not really. I mean, the cavalry are a little bit scary for Contarius here, and Kvoth does push Joe back for the time being, Kvoth buying himself some time here to get this town center up. He's got 8 citizen on that town center there as he gets 1 town center up on this position, 1 town center up over on this position as well. Joe's still on 2 town centers for the time being. Did he go up to the Mythic Age? Yes, he did. Osiris is now in, which means mummies, which means Son of Osiris. This is the hardest part for Kvoth to stop at this point. This Son of Osiris coming through, dealing crazy amounts of damage from afar. As Joe's sitting 140 population, Kvoth's at 122 of 145. He cannot keep his population up at this point as a siege tower coming through, going to start breaking down all of these buildings as we do see these Mamilo training into these military barracks here. Is Kvoth here. He sees his opportunity, and this is very smart. He's cut production, and he's choosing to go through Atlas here. I thought he went through Hecate for a half second there, but this is the opportunity. You go through Atlas, and you utilize Implode to kill off this army. That is the way for Gaia to slow this sort of push down. We do see the Arcus pushing forward here, a little bit too antsy with those Arcus. Another option here would be to produce Contarius into these military barracks here or somewhere else, and maybe he'll be okay to take these fights moving forward. But the Arcus is going to be retreating into the main base. We do see a handful of units coming down here as a siege works getting dropped to try and break through these gates and everything else over there as the watchtowers gets researched here. Still no attempt at building those Contarius, which I am surprised about. This is majority axemen, heavy chariots, and the like here. But the siege tower is still coming in. Can Kvoth's Implode get him the value that he needs in this game as more units getting trained into the barracks? Kvoth is definitely finding it very difficult to get himself up to pop after investing in this Mythic Age. He's going to need max value out of the Implode as we do see the Arcus popping out. Look at that Son of Osiris basically one-hitting those Arcus here as the villagers moving forward. This Lush has been cleaned up. The army pushing in onto this position here as we do see a palace that has been planted here to help defend, but this army is going to be very close to this position as Kvoth almost hitting that Mythic Age. He is now there as he's going to immediately drop the Implode down onto this position. The army retreating away from it immediately as we see some villagers dropping in onto this position. A ghost building attempting to get dropped, but the hyena blocks the units getting dragged in. Great amount of dissuasion there. I don't know. Time buying there as all of the units get dropped in. The Son of Osiris down to 419 HP does get sent backwards, though, as he has to pull back. And Joe, at this point here, drops down to 123, 150 population. Kvoth has got an opportunity now to push back here as the Arcus, they need to target the Son of Osiris down. And Kvoth needs some sort of an answer for this Son of Osiris and these siege towers, as we see an economic guild getting dropped down onto this position here to try and slow down the town center from going up, or even stop the town center from going up. One option for Kvoth could be Hero Citizen here, gets himself the extra HP onto those Citizen in order to take out those siege towers, as the siege towers immediately moving in to take down that economic guild, as we do see a trader there onto said siege tower to stop this town center in its tracks for the time being, as the Arcus need to retreat back. Joe's 150 population, Kvoth 123 of 145 population. He's got himself 1, 2, 3. He's not building anything out of this one, but he's got himself a decent amount of military barracks here as well. He is making Fnatic at this point. Not a bad idea, but the town center is now up for Joe. Joe is in a commanding position now. 3 town centers versus 3 town centers against Atlantean for Ra can be enough to find a victory if you've got the Son of Osiris alive, if you've got the tech advantage. These siege towers are tanking tons of HP here as they continue to push forward. The mummy's on the back here to help out, as well as Joe still trying to break through. We do see Mermilla getting cleaned up. The villagers retreating back over here as those siege towers slowly rolling through. And we'll see how he's going to go, as the military barracks over here going to fall. Kvoth still trying to pump units. He's now building himself some Contarius as he's realizing that Joe has produced majority units that the Contarius does kill, but as always, you need mass Contarius for them to really do anything. They're just going to get picked off too easily. We do see the trader started for Kvoth, but he just doesn't have anything left over here, ladies and gentlemen, as his palaces are about to fall. We don't see anything happening at the top side of the map. Kvoth can't find any value in this game. The Citizen do push forward. They do manage to take down 1 siege tower, but look at this. Joe has got access to a town center really close to his opponent's town center at this point. Can spam out those mercenary onto this position if he has the resources. One thing that Joe has not started in this game yet, as Kvoth does tap out though, is the trade. So he can't really spam them crazy fast. But Joe, in the end here, with that Eclipse timing, that did so much damage to Kvoth. I think that Kvoth was in a great position if he could have kind of quelled that damage a little bit better, not taken so much in terms of unit losses. He probably would have been in a decent position if he would have been able to get some more upgrades. He would have been able to have himself full population, and he might have been able to kill off that Son of Osiris with that implode. It was left sitting by itself. That's the big plan. The big plan is get yourself out a bunch of Contarius for after the implode and chase that Son of Osiris down, take it out with those Contarius, and then you're in a great position here as Gaia, but he just could not quite make it work. Joe's Bast here working an absolute treat for him, and it's impressive to see these sorts of strategies. We don't see it very often. A 2 town center Bast Eclipse timing push. Kvoth, in a way, kind of didn't really work out what was happening here, and he went for an economic approach where maybe the better play could have been to go for a heroic age timing push through like Rhea here with Behemoth and the like on the forward position. He could have gone for that as well, but he went for the economic approach, and it just didn't give him enough here in this game to hold on. Joe gets the dub. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.